Warning. Thunder Talk contains foul language, adult subject matter, and is intended for mature audiences. Warning. Thunder Talk contains foul humor and unpopular opinions and is intended for immature audiences. Warning. No one should be listening to Thunder Talk.
Hello, ant people, and welcome to Thunder Talk, the podcast that asks the question, do you guys put the word quantum in front of everything? I'm your host, Sexy Thor, and today we discuss Ant-Man and the Wasp, James Gunn's trials and Twitterlations, and our good friend Missy drops by the studio to debut her new track, Unexpectable, a sophomore episode you won't want to miss. Lightning Lad, roll the thunder.
From the smoking section of the Nerd Bliss podcast, the Weirdos Workshop presents Thunder Talk. Sexy Thor and Lightning. Thunder Talk.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was a fun, lighthearted movie, a good little change of pace after the heaviness on our souls that was Infinity War, up until the mid and post-credit scene, which brought us right back down to earth.
Oh, yeah. It was like, hey, here's a lighthearted romp. Enjoy some popcorn and soda pop. And, oh, yeah, no, by the way, everybody still turns into a bunch of ash. Maybe they should have moisturized.
And Ant-Man is in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Going to try to find some way to save us all, even though he's probably not even aware that there's an all of us that needs to be saved.
Yeah.
Because all he's thinking is, I'm free, I get to spend time with my daughter, things are going good with Hope, and what's a Thanos?
Oh, yeah, I mean, because comic books, really, think about it. Now it's because movies, you know? Yeah, he's going to have some downtime. It'll all be good. It's not all pow, bang, zing. You know, you got to be able to sit and, you got to be able to Netflix and chill on occasion. You're right back in it.
Does anyone have any orange slices?
I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I did. I certainly liked it better than the first one.
Yeah, same. And I like how they definitely explored the quantum realm a lot deeper after giving us a little hint at it in the first Ant-Man and pretty much giving us another little morsel of an appearance in Doctor Strange.
In terms of consequence. And it was a lighter-hearted. It was a lighter-hearted fare. At the same time, in terms of its gravity in the MCU.
Yeah, even though it's, at its surface a nice, simple, lighthearted movie, there's still plenty of implications for Avengers 4 and the MCU beyond that.
Like what?
Well, like I said, with the quantum realm and also, possible theories between the powers that, if you want to call them powers, especially in Ghost's case, it seems more like an ailment. Well, it is an ailment,
right,
but it still gives her special abilities. Like, I'm wondering if it's going to be used more as... Because there's a theory, and I don't think there's much to it, that somehow unleashing, quantum energy or whatever could possibly bring about mutants whenever that whole thing gets settled.
Oh, okay. That could be a way to mutants.
Because it gave Ghost her phasing abilities,
right,
with a little bit of help from S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra.
Sure.
And even Janet Van Dyne had special abilities of her own while she was in the quantum realm and after she got out of it.
So Ant-Man and Fam could equal mutants. Because we know they went Inhumans because they didn't have access to the X-Men. Right? They didn't have access to mutants, yet they wanted this, social upheaval and random powers manifesting in random people. They certainly went full X-Men without using the X-Men through the Inhumans in Marvel. In terms of the television.
Yeah, because so far it's just really been shown in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the now defunct Inhuman show.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So if knowing that X-Men are on the horizon, it may be a distant horizon. I think it's going to be. I think Phase 5. My prediction is Phase 5 is when they start bringing in Fantastic Four, the X-Men, all of that.
Because I'm sure they have a lot more of Phase 4 planned out than they're letting us know. Because Because so far they're just telling us that it's going to be Spider-Man Far From Home, Guardians 3, possibly Black Panther and Doctor Strange sequels.
Oh, 100,000% Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, that's coming regardless. Who knows where it's coming, but it's almost a safe bet to say there'll be Phase 4.
They're really going to embrace this whole concept of multiverse, I think. And I think Ant-Man and Doctor Strange are will be the anchors of that idea. What do you think the odds are of them going Earth something other than what is? Because in the movies, it's supposed to be Earth 616.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we know that it's named 616 because there's a 617 and a 615. What do you think the odds are that you'll have Hulk fighting Hulk?
Well, it's always a possibility and remains to be seen when, like in the leaked set photos for Avengers 4 where it shows Ant-Man talking to Captain America wearing his Avengers 1 garb at the Battle of New York. It remains to be seen if is he going back in time? Is he in somehow another dimension? Another thread of the multiverse on how things could have gone if a choice?
Are they fucking with us? Are they
Most
fucking
likely.
with us? Is that photo just there to totally throw us off?
That could also be a possibility because they've also leaked, using air quotes here, stuff with Scarlett Johansson possibly wearing her Civil War garb again, the little brown jacket that she was wearing in the beginning, and also Pepper Potts wearing mocap gear like she did when they filmed the scene where Tony put the suit on her after the Mandarin blew his mansion all to hell.
Right. Because he's like, I live here and I hate you.
So come at me, bro. Yeah, smooth. You gotta get a story going somehow. Yeah. They said Phase 4 will be really more cosmic, so it's kind of hard to tell if they mean the quantum realm may or may not be a part of that. It'll definitely be a lot more in outer space and happening on other planets sort of stuff.
Right. Space adventure.
I doubt this means we'll get the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, but who knows?
What are you talking about? I never freeze.
So Hank Pym.
Oh, Hank Pym. Yeah, they had to go with Scott Lang, is it?
Yep.
I almost said Scott Summers. That'd have been
Not yet.
Phase
5.
Yeah, they went with Scott Lang because Hank Pym, as John Lennon put it in a Beatles song, I used to be cruel to my woman. I beat her and kept her apart from the things that she loved. He was mean and he's changing his scene and he's doing the best that he can, I guess. Hank Pym was an alcoholic. He beat up on Janet Van Dyne, and I don't think that would have flown. I think that would have, Disney was afraid of some backlash there. So that's why they went with Scott Lang Ant-Man to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in there. Don't get me wrong, Hank Pym is in there. No, he doesn't, slap anybody around. And he doesn't appear to be an alky,
Yeah.
I mean, next time, though, you look at his keychain in the first movie and you see the tank on it, see if there's like an AA chip on there, too. I'm just saying.
That might be one of the Easter eggs that people haven't found yet.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's one of the Easter eggs they're still talking about, because they're still talking about going all the way back to the first Iron Man. We still haven't found all the Easter eggs. Hank Pym.
Yeah, but yeah, and even at the beginning of the movie, before he went through all that character development, he wasn't as bad as he used to be in the comics. Even in the beginning, in the S.H.I.E.L.D. flashback, when he smacked Dude Man's head on the desk for mentioning his wife. But that guy double had it coming, because that guy, of course, ended up being Hydra. So he had a nasty streak against people that deserved it.
Yeah, he definitely would throw a punch, for real. Well, I mean, holy shit. You and your wife are espionaging, superpowering around the world, all Cold War style. You better be able to just fucking bring it to a motherfucker. I mean, that's the kind of attitude I would want. Somebody
you'd hope so.
in that line of work, that that straight up smashing somebody's face into a desk was in their toolkit is a go-to option. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, had Hank Pym laid his hand on that Janet Van Dyne, I don't think there would have been much of a marriage or Hank Pym any longer.
I don't understand what any of that meant. What?
Like, if Hank Pym was the domestic abuser that...
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
Because
thanks.
this Janet's, like, super, super, super bad.
Oh, yeah, no, this Janet Van Dyne would punch him in the goddamn throat, break his fucking clavicle.
You poor guys. Always confusing your pistols with your privates. Meow.
Speaking of Michelle Pfeiffer in this movie, they did, what I understand is they did the same thing with her face as they did with Michael Douglas's face in the first and a bit in the second one. How they are able to de-age, if you will, by 30, what would it be? Approximately.
Yeah, about 30 years.
About 30 years, yeah. It didn't look like they needed to do much on her, or they did a brilliant job.
I think she's always looked better with age, but that was just...
well, definitely, yes. 100%. If that's what she's into, then that's how I feel. But also Michael Douglas, his de-aged... His de-aged face also looked a lot better. And I'm thinking,
it looked very realistic, comparing it to older Michael Douglas movies.
Right. And it makes me think who is, I think, winning at least special effects wise. It's Disney. I mean, go back to Tron Legacy when they took Jeff Bridges. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but then again, it's a computer. He's a manifestation of a bunch of plot-driven computer bullshit, right? Character clue.
Right.
So he can actually his face could look a bit Nintendo'd up, and it's okay. And then progressing forward, the way they did Tarkin and Leia in Rogue One, when you think about it, the idea of de-aging or even bringing back people, all of that, Disney's been the one driving that technology. It's been this property and that property, but it's Disney at the end of the day. Makes you think maybe one day Walt will be talking to us on the TV, Disney's Magical World of Color, ABC, 7 p.m. Sunday nights.
If we're even still on TVs by then.
I mean, it'll be some kind of weird-ass Matrix post-apocalyptic thing is what it would also tie into, of course. But it's like, hey, you need to come check out this new Epcot shit. But it's like post-World War III. I'm going all Thunderdome with that.
Thunderdome talk?
Thunderdome talk. On tonight's edition of Thunderdome.
Guitars with flamethrowers. Always a good idea.
No, Tina Turner. Tina Turner is my co-pilot. I think with that we're going to take a commercial break.
Jarvis is my co-pilot.
Yeah, you take Jarvis. I'll take Thunderdome Tina, and I'm going to win. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
Jarvis will just steal my woman.
Yeah, bust a deal, face the wheel.
So anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Check it out.
Check it out. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Who runs Bartertown?
Hi, I'm Chris Jones, and I'm here to tell you about the Nerd Bliss podcast. As the name suggests, we're geeks and nerds. We love all the geeky stuff. Sci-fi, fantasy, books, cosplay, comic books. We'll be talking about all of it. But don't let the name fool you. Fitness geeks, musicians, or people who live and breathe cars, computers, or even history. We want to talk to them too, and have as much fun as possible along the way. Check us out at nerdblisspodcast.com and on social media at nerdblisspod. That's nerdblisspodcast.com and on social media at nerdblisspod. Come stop by and share your nerd bliss with us.
Big shout out to John Rasmussen, giving us a lot of good advice in terms of how to make this happen. And also gave us a rad, just nasty, awesome logo.
So badass.
Which you'll find everywhere. And also Chris Jones, of course, for his continuing place in all of this and helping us out, mentoring us, getting us going with all that.
Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens soar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor.
And we are back with everyone's favorite segment, What Would Thor Do? All right, so I was digging around the internet this week and continuing our obsession with the Los Angeles Lakers, our love for the greatest team in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're just out on the court cashing a paycheck and trying to entertain you. Nobody gets to see what they're doing out in the Andromeda Galaxy or the Antares Maelstrom or the entire Jovian system. That's Jupiter and its moons, for all you non-science folk out there. The Lakers and the Globetrotters keep half this universe together. And which is why when I saw this on the internet, it really kind of bothered me. And he's asking us, I love LeBron, but I hate the Lakers. What do I do?
Since the first time that I brought this to your attention on Wednesday, I've heard a different person ask that question on a different podcast. So I feel like this question is really something that needs to be addressed here.
Oh, wow. This is like a need to know.
Epidemic.
We're going to see this in next year's textbooks.
This is a Laker haterade epidemic. And this is not for the people who hate the Lakers because they're fans of other team like the Clippers or someone else in our division or the Boston Celtics. This is for people that just hate the Lakers to hate the Lakers for whatever BS reasons. If you hate the Lakers because you're a Boston fan, well, that's just the natural order of things. But anyway.
Yeah, go get your own fucking podcast. All right? And loosely tie it to some other superhero.
Exactly. So anyway, for those people that just hate the Lakers to hate the Lakers, which I assume that's what these two individuals are, maybe for starters, do exercises that mortals do to, raise your mental and emotional health, because clearly you have internet-itis where you just want to hate on everything just to have something to talk about.
Internet-itis. Say that 5 times fast.
Internet-itis, 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 internet-itis.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what makes him a god in a comic book and a cool guy.
Exactly. And, really, overall, just get the stick out of your bum.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple.
It's your problem, not ours.
Because the Lakers, with their, movie star glitz and all that, may look fake if that's the perspective that you have. But you could also look at that fakeness and that larger-than-lifeness and not of this earthness as, maybe there's just something to aspire to in your own life, because everybody, from Magic to Shaq and Kobe and Kareem to now currently with LeBron, they're all incredibly confident, but they also like to have fun, except for Kobe. He wasn't really much on the fun part. He was just, I win because that's just how Odin programmed me.
Yeah, welcome to Loki speak. Right? will we rep Boston?
But they all work hard and they win. Lamar Odom didn't go into his downward spiral until after he left the Lakers. If that's just an example to help prove my point. So really, these big time Lakers and Showtime era, Shaq Kobe era, now LeBron era, whatever era you want to choose. It's really no different than, the people that are in your favorite fictions and mythology throughout all of Midgard.
Oh, yeah, no, people are just afraid of LA. They just want to hate, the traffic and the smog and the people are just the worst. And it's like, fuck you. You've never been further west than, I don't know, Philadelphia. Yeah, to you, that's like, yeah, I've traveled. Yeah. No, West Philadelphia, yo.
Born and raised.
Yeah, you're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. LeBron and the Lakers is your future.
Live from Los Angeles, it's the Magic Hour. Tonight, 1998 Playboy Playmate of the Year, Karen McDougal.
Hit us up at our send us an email at sexythorstthundertalk at gmail.com. Sexy Thor's Thunder Talk, all one word, no apostrophe.
And find us on the social medias that I'll link you to in my outro.
Oh yeah, everybody, you got to get up on that. Send us some hate mail on this. Tell us how fucking wrong we are, because we love it.
Yeah, because that means you listen.
All right, so last week we talked a lot about weddings, and we had such an overwhelming listener response to the subject that we're going to go there again in Thor issue 3. So what's up, boss? What's going on with all that?
Alright, and of course, spoiler warning for anybody that's planning on reading this, but what's going on in this new line of Thor is there's a War on the Ten Realms coming up. It's led by Malekith the Dark Elf, who's a hell of a lot better than he was in Dark World. And there's also another threat looming, Queen Cinder, the daughter of Surtur, and they're all in hell right now.
Holy shit. It's like everybody's there. Like Galactus and...
okay, all the Thor characters are in hell.
Okay. All like name dropping, like every bad comic book person is all gonna come and... You all deserve it, though. Your family sucks. No offense. I don't want to pretend I know you like that, but...
You're not liking what you're seeing so far.
No, I mean, Odin's a dick. Loki's a dick.
Very true.
You have another brother, right?
Yeah, Balder. He's the one getting married.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a dick move. Do you have any sisters?
No.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm, looking to get back into dating or anything. but Lightning Lad always has his ears to the ground.
Indeed. But anyway, so I've got a brother in hell. His name's Balder.
I've got a brother in hell. Don't we all?
And he leads a pretty good faction of people in hell soldiers. And I have a niece. You know what her name is? You might have heard of her. You might have been under the impression she's my sister. Hela!
Oh, Hela. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your niece. Yeah, because in comic books, Hela is Loki's daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Fenris the wolf is his son. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how that happened.
Oh, I mean, a couple of drinks. Just to... some people just want to get out there and have fun. I'm sure the singles apartments in Asgard are pretty swinging places.
And I'm sure Loki gets around on other realms.
Oh yeah, Loki's dragging that dick through all 9 realms, and he's coming up with all kinds of like carpet fuzz.
Silver isn't the only thing his tongue is.
Yeah, yeah, just carpet fuzz. I was literally thinking about just like plain old carpet fuzz and lint and maybe like an old piece of candy. But yeah, that has a whole other connotation involving pubic hair.
So anyway, Balder and Hela both have forces that we need, but we can't seem to find a solution for them to get along. So what other way to have 2 groups of people get along, because it always works, other than marriage?
Yeah, marriage solves everything.
I know, this is not a war on marriage episode like episode 1.
Oh, well.
This is being an advocate for marriage, especially considering Balder is my brother and Hela is my niece.
And you're advocating that. You see, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Fucking Asgard. You guys.
Asgard and our values.
Come on. You gotta have a deeper gene pool than that up there.
So anyway, they're about to get married. We're about to pull this whole thing off when I'm starting to think this might not be enough to help us defeat Queen Cinder and the forces of Muspelheim. So I tell Loki, we kind of should get forces out of Valhalla to help us. Otherwise, we're going to lose.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, but only the Allfather and the Valkyries know. So I'm just like, that's true. So going to need you to really bro down and do something that you've always wanted to do and kill me.
He's adopted.
You got to go all Judas on that.
And he's
been done
being
before.
very argumentative because I guess that Loki's urge to resist orders and what needs to be done overpowers just his general desire to kill me. So I finally talk him into it. He kills me in front of everybody, and we didn't inform anybody else of the plan. So he's looking even worse than he usually does in front of the whole family.
Damn.
And then this particular issue ends with me at the gates of Valhalla, and one of the Valkyries comes up and is like, speak quickly. We don't have a whole lot of patience. And that's where the issue ends. To be continued next month.
Wow. Damn. Well, all right. I mean, that's Armies of Hell. I wish I sounded cooler, like heavy metal, when I said that, but you get the idea.
Highway to Valhalla doesn't have the same sort of ring as Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
But Highway to Hell is also applicable here, at least in Thor issue 2.
Yeah, we'll be going there next month. Thor Watch.
I thought this whole show was pretty much Thor Watch.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm watching.
Or no, it's Thor speaking. I'm not watching, I'm talking.
Oh yeah, no, it's everybody's time to just sit down and just be like, shh, just listen. Thunder Talk, your one-stop shop for comic book wedding news. Stay tuned.
Thunder Talk exclusive.
Yeah, so we got H2O here up in the studio with us tonight here on that sweet, sweet Thunder Talk. So what's up? So what's going to be the name of this track here?
The name of the track is Unexpectable. Please expect all that you unexpected. It's going to be real, it's going to be live, it's going to be full of that funk shit.
Where can we all find you?
My music is on SoundCloud. Look up Damian Waters 1. Damian Waters 1 on SoundCloud. I'm also on Instagram, Waters Why You Live, which is WATERSY, the letter Y, you live.
Y'all heard that here first. Y'all heard that here last. What's that track one more time?
Unexpectable.
Unexpectable, coming at you now.
I'ma go run the bands. Tell the girl bring me the bands. Matter of fact, let it replay. Do it with no hands. Whipping a plane, no plane chain. Get him and move him again. Been doing it, man. Won't ever stop. Headed to the top. What? Bitches wanna rock. I'm not trying to grow. Tell the game, let's go. Money to make. No time to waste. Using different ways. Not waiting. Sitting in the Chevy. Miss it with the sticky. Tell them pull up quickly. We up on ammo. Call me the mob. Building the empire, no building the Bob. What you spit is flaw, I take over. You a lame bitch, exclusive for no reason. You out of season, plenty sauce in my veins. Go all day, can't fuck, babe. The money on my mind, saving every dime. Working like it's a crime, paying myself in overtime. I'm gonna shine like the sun. Your shit is overdone, I need to taste the blood. We finna take over, no more makeup shit. You know my crew been doing it since the 80s, bitch. We run the shit, make them bow down, king and shit. No words for them, bitch boys, you know we totin'. Go all day, they can't touch me, flow is unexpectable. They look flustered, I bend the rain to the fire, it's been nothing. Let the dragon speak for you, then you is nothing. I run the jungle, being hungry, connections, never use them. Done sleeping on myself, won't abuse them. Pockets fatter than Big Mama, cooking steaks, always gonna eat, never worry about the next bitch. Tunnel vision with the money, my consistency you cannot compete. Call me a beast. Meet up with the dope man, he set me free. Not something you want me to be. Happy when I'm just me, of course I'll be rolling. Don't point a finger at me, just need a drink to calm the high down. You know how I be. Score a game, leave them bloody when I leave the streets. No answer to your question, so it's incomplete. Most of my sins are in the sheets. Catch them slip and run up, make their life complete. No regrets, the money consoles me. We finna take over, no more makeup shit. You know my crew been doing it since the 80s, bitch. We run the shit, make them bow down, king and shit. No words for them, bitch boys, you know we totin'. Get to the money all day, no time to play. Run, hit me up, say he on the way. Doing bigger things, need me a driver in the backseat, fucking gotta go. It's time to show out, come party, throw up ones. They love it in the mountains. We run and pull out the juice. Never known to chase shit. Never sent invitation, but they always made it. Gotta stamp it, Molly get them fucked and thrown out. What's a wife when I got foreign hoes that love to lick me down? In the streets, never naked, niggas never overstepping. Pray to God I make it through the day, it's never been the same since we last conversed. Life is always turning corners for the good and the worst. Whatever happens to me, I stay smiling, that's when they come after me. I can go the mileage, I can go for hours, it's not a problem to me. Never trust these bitches, all they see is wallets. Never fuck these bitches, all I know is commas. We finna take over, no more makeup shit. You know my crew been doing it since the 80s, bitch. We run the shit, make them bow down, king and shit. No words for them, bitch boys, you know we totin'.
This is a 30-second ad spot for the Black Market Toast podcast, where we take a piece of media out of the cupboard, dust it off, toast it up, and serve it as something completely new.
What?
Well, it means we either listen to or watch a movie or TV show or piece of music, and then...
It's not like we just use whatever media we pick as a conversation starter.
Well, because it's fun, okay? Listen to it on your podcatcher of choice, and follow us on Facebook or something.
Basketball Jones, I got a basketball Jones, oh baby, ooh. Yes, I'm the victim of a basketball Jones. Ever since I was a little baby, I always be dribbling. In fact, I was the baddest dribbler in the whole neighborhood.
Speaking of the Lakers, we have some news on somebody that could, at the very most likely, be a future Laker, at least in 2019. Kawhi Leonard, who was the best player on the Spurs in the post-Tim Duncan era, has been traded to the Toronto Raptors. Him and Tar Heel Danny Green were both in the deal, and coming to the Spurs from Toronto is a few guys you haven't heard of, and one you just might. One, DeMar DeRozen.
DeMar DeRozen. Yeah, you called this last week. Actually.
Yeah, at the very least, I pretty much called with some help from one Jalen Rose that the Spurs would definitely be trading Kawhi somewhere in the East. Definitely not in the Western Conference. I definitely didn't see Toronto coming. Like I heard, Boston, maybe Philly or Miami, some of those other names, but I definitely didn't see Toronto. I definitely see them trading DeMar DeRozan, who the week before was told he would not be traded.
Yeah, no, he was told point blank that he would not be traded, which opens up a bigger subject here. They're all smiles now. Leonard just dropped a picture with the Raptors, a little photo op on the court, some practice, whatever, and everybody was smiling. But nobody's happy about this. Nobody, the players at least. This is all front office shit that went down to trade these guys. Neither of them wanted to go. I have a quote here, actually, from Los Angeles Clipper Lou Williams, who spent a year alongside DeRozan in Toronto. And he says right here, "I'm hurt, bro. I'm hurt." He tweeted, "The dog gave that city and organization his heart and soul. He was loyal to the soil, and he got stabbed in the back."
I think you put it perfectly.
Yeah, I think so too. DeRozan was quite happy where he was, and look at him now. Loyal to the soil. What does it matter? What does it mean?
Yeah, and
these teams that give us so much, that we invest so much of ourselves into, and these players. You can go all the way back. Look at LeBron. The center of the basketball universe. When the owners decide that they're going to swap it up, they're going to swap it up because they're looking at that bottom line.
Oh yeah, and a lot's made about players who leave teams that have cherished them. Chasing a bigger contract and or more rings. May or may not be referring to KD as an example. And
there's a flip side, isn't there? I mean,
yeah.
it's
and
really
then you never think, somebody who's easily your best player that definitely wants to stay there, that has done absolutely nothing on or off the court to deter the front office from disliking him, because there was the case with Dwayne Wade, who was very much happy in Miami, and then he got traded to the Bulls more or less because, he was all nice and jokey with LeBron one game when Cleveland was playing Miami, and Pat Riley wasn't looking too happy about that because that happened, and then that following offseason, Wade got traded to the Bulls. Now, eventually, he made his way through Cleveland for half a season and then came back to Miami, so everything's all good in there, but that still happened. Dwayne Wade wasn't, doing anything too bad. He was just joking with LeBron, and the front office was like, but DeRozan didn't even do anything close to that. He was a wonderful guy off the field. He gave his all on the court. I mean, sure, he turned ghost and or putty when they had to face LeBron in the playoffs, but I mean, that's just bound to happen when you're facing the best player in the NBA.
I need someone to stand beside me. I need someone to set a pick for me at the free throw line of life. Someone I can pass to. Someone to hit the open man on the give and go.
works both ways. We throw a lot of shade on players that want to opt out or who will go free agent and let their contract expire and go looking to up their ducats. And in terms of this whole concept of loyalty, we get really mad at them. But there's another side to all of that. You have players that are working hard for their city, no loyalty, out the door. So before you go around criticizing LeBron or anybody for moving from one team to another, wanting to chase those rings, wanting to get better pay, know that at the same time, their organization will cut them and toss them at a second's notice.
This also isn't the first sort of questionable cut that the Raptors have made this offseason, because they fired their head coach, Dwayne Casey, who pretty much made them prominent contenders, both in the regular season and on the playoffs, and was even named Coach of the Year like a few weeks after he was fired.
Yeah, right.
I know there's that whole thing where, they can't get past the Cavs in the playoffs, but he still had y'all knocking at that door like every single year in the post Chris Bosh era, when the Raptors had their most significant years, on top of, whenever Vince Carter was there.
Well, they're looking to, now that LeBron is out of the picture in the East, there's a real power vacuum going on there. And I think the Raptors are trying to move their pieces around as fast as possible to try to take advantage of that.
I could have seen if they had traded Kyle Lowry and some guys instead for Kawhi, but
DeRozan.
Not DeRozan. I have a hard time feeling that, especially if Kawhi is a disgruntled player, which I would, if Kawhi called me up right now, it's just like, hey, Adam, how should I go about this year? I say, focus on getting healthy, getting your skills back up to par. And, if you want to leave, they're going to have you on a 1-year rental anyway, unless you just happen to like it there and sign an extension. But I'd say if you still want to go to Lakers at the end of the year, get healthy, get your skills up this season. And then once free agency hits, be like, hey, Magic, hey, LeBron. Yeah, because if you just ride the bench and you're all pissy and moany and being a team distraction, that's gonna deter the teams that you do want to go to in free agency from getting you, because they like to have their players have a little bit more character than that.
I think, they're going to have to rise above if they're going to want options in the future and watch that pendulum swing back the other way, that continuous struggle between management and ownership over yourself.
This is Kawhi's dress rehearsal and him, getting back to form year. And also with the Raptors, they have to have a contingency plan for, if the likely event happens that Kawhi leaves after this year, or find some way to, really sell them hard on, the Raptors are where you want to be for the next few years. Like, you don't make a colossal trade like this just for 1 year, especially after firing your very proven coach.
Oh, yeah, they're going to need to do some wooing. That's for sure.
And I mean, it worked out well for the Celtics because they fired Doc Rivers, who brought them a whole lot of success, and they got a freaking genius like Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
And of course, the Warriors, Mark Jackson did a wonderful job over there, and they ended up with a genius like Steve Kerr. There's a lot of examples on how a massive power change like this can go well, but it also couldn't, and you need to prepare for that.
Everybody watching coast to coast, sing along with us.
Speaking of sports, I want to give a shout out to a couple podcasts here. First, Enough with the BS podcast, hosted by my friend Tyler Butler and his partner in crime, Josh Smith. And they give you a lot more real, raw, sports talk. Very good podcast that you should check out if you're wanting to hear more sports talk. A special shout out to the History of Comic Books podcast, hosted by our good friend Jonathan Wheatley, who gave us a special shout out on his most recent episode about the life and works of Jack Kirby.
It was a good episode.
Yes, it was. And Wheatley took a little note of our saying that the Boston Celtics do not go around beating up 5-year-olds. He said he's 1-0 as far as games that we've bet a beer over between the Panthers and the Falcons. And I would like to say Matt Ryan throwing 503 yards with Julio Jones being the recipient of 300 of those yards, treating the Panther secondary like a bunch of kittens. Which, if the Falcons really did beat up kittens, which I'm not saying they do, because they don't. But anyway, those are my two special shout-outs. Go Lakers, go Falcons.
Hello, Have you ever wondered how much Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster sold Superman's rights to DC for? Or which popular football star was the Sam Wilson the Falcon's physical appearance based on? You can find all that and more at the History of Comic Books podcast, a podcast dedicated to the creators, events, history, and the companies that made the great comic book medium. Hosted and created by your friendly neighborhood JT Wheatley. Please give it a listen at iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and all our podcasting platforms. Thank you, and go ahead and enjoy yourself a good comic book.
James Gunn has been fired by Disney for some tweets that he sent out, if I'm not mistaken, between 2008 and 2009.
I think it was 2009 to 2012.
2009 to 2012, before he was hired on by Disney. These are tweets that I'm not gonna repeat. I'm not gonna repeat those here. Y'all can go fishing up in Google and find those out for yourselves. These are tweets that were actually dug up by a conservative group who isn't happy with James Gunn because James Gunn isn't happy with fucking Trump. You can go find the tweets yourselves. I think just to preface some of them, he definitely, I think it's fair to say he makes light of both pedophilia, rape, goes on to some other things, which is definitely not in line with Disney's standards and practices. He's been removed. He's been removed from the MCU. Sexy Thor, give me your thoughts on this.
Well, before we get into our thoughts, I'm going to read the 5 points he made recently in response to this whole mess. Number 1. Many people who have followed my career know when I started, I viewed myself as a provocateur, making movies and telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. As I have discussed publicly many times, as I've developed as a person, so has my work and my humor. Number 2, it's not to say I'm better, but I'm very, very different than I was a few years ago. Today I try to root my work in love and connection and less in anger. My days saying something just because it's shocking and trying to get a reaction are over. 3, in the past, I have apologized for humor of mine that hurt people. I truly felt sorry and meant every word of my apologies. 4, for the record, when I made these shocking jokes, I wasn't living them out. I know this is a weird statement to make and seems obvious, but still, here I am saying it. 5, anyway, that's the completely honest truth. I used to make a lot of offensive jokes. I don't anymore. I don't blame my past self for this, but I like myself more and feel like a more full human being and creator today. Love you to you all.
Now, this man brought us both Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1 and 2, wrote and directed. He also wrote all the dialogue for Infinity War for the Guardians characters.
Yep, I understand the Disney move from their business standpoint, because obviously when controversy like this happens for whatever company that's someone that's working for you that it's happening to, clearly sponsors get agitated and worried, and thus that's less money in their pocket, and thus they have to make a move to try to clean up and or save face. But to do this when you're over tweets back when he was a completely different person, at least a couple years before he signed that contract and started working for you, I'm not saying he should get off scot-free in a sort of karma way, like some sort of repercussion should come of that, because, to everything good and bad you do, there are consequences. It's knowledge that we learn from birth to death.
Right.
However, because this was stuff in his past and not the James Gunn that has worked on both Guardians movies and the James Gunn that turned in dialogue for Infinity War, I just, from a regular standpoint, not a business standpoint, just have a lot of issues with the move. And I'm not yelling at the top of my lungs saying, Disney should hire him back or whatever. It is what it is. This is just my feelings towards...
Sure.
this little unfortunate turn of events.
You know, there is a petition going around right now for Disney to rehire James Gunn.
You know, a lot of people do feel the same as I do, that it's messed up to jump on a guy because of his past.
Certainly James Gunn is the only person in the MCU to have a past. How old is James Gunn? The internet would tell us that.
James Gunn...
I'm going to bet... oh my gosh. I'm going to say 44...
51.
51. James Gunn is 51?
Yep.
Okay. I think when he signed those Disney contracts, that certainly incorporated the standards and practices in that at no point in your traceable life can you have made X types of comments, X types of proclamations, jokes, what have you. I think he still went to bed and slept with a clean conscience. I think his age and not thinking that would come to bite him in the ass the way that it has. I don't want to be ageist here. I'm 39. I'm dying like the rest of you, okay? We're all just a bunch of meat sacks sitting here flying around this flaming ball of hydrogen on this asteroid Earth. I don't think he fully understood the implications. He certainly deleted them once he got hired on by the biggest of the biggest.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
I mean, it's a real difficult thing because, like I said, there can't be just no consequences to saying stuff like that, you know, horrid things. But at the same time, I'm just not certain if I'm on board with Disney doing that. I mean...
outright firing him. He's gone. He's out.
Yeah.
He's done. No more. He's pink slip.
Yeah, I mean, something should happen. I'm just not sure what, because, you know, this is a movie company and he's a movie director. This isn't a sort of NFL thing where they can just fine him or whatever.
It's an interesting situation. The subject matter he touches on, certainly some of it has evolved light years from when he tweeted them. At the same time, some of that subject matter is timeless, and we are only now, as a majority, deciding that there should be consequence for that. The idea that he stated in his past that he was in a darker place, he was a provocateur, I can understand that. I can understand the mind, especially as an entertainer, going along with what is and is not popularly accepted. Certainly, he is sorry. He understands, he articulates that he understands what he wrote was inappropriate, regardless of when it was published. I mean, he understands that what he wrote, even in the context of 2008 to 2012, was appropriate. Even though sensibilities have shifted since then, at no point in history was that appropriate. And I think he does take ownership of that.
Yeah.
I do think there's an anxiety among not only MCU fans, but Guardians fans specifically, that if not James Gunn, who will be helming Volume 3? Whom will be the gatekeeper of the Guardians moving forward from here in the absence of James Gunn? I mean, again, he wrote the dialogue for all the Guardians characters in Episode 3. I mean, Infinity War. Avengers 3.
Avengers Episode 3.
Avengers Episode 3. WTF James Gunn? Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. And nobody can take that from him. And I can see the anxiety of fans when they hear this to say, no, he's okay. Fucking Disney. Bunch of hypocrites. And they are. I can't show my kids Peter Pan. I can't. I put it on for my son, oh my God, like 8 years ago. And once they start hanging out with the quote-unquote Indians, I had to turn that shit off. That was racist. Song of the South. I mean, come on. You know, if anybody has quote-unquote blood on their hands, it's Disney.
Right.
You know, or let's talk about sexism.
Right.
You can start a whole podcast about how Disney has perpetuated and grown dangerous gendered stereotypes.
Right.
Little princess, my gift shall be the gift of beauty.
And if you let me stay, I'll keep house for you. I'll wash and sew and sweep and cook and
cook. Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Fuyang.
Once the Indian didn't know all the things that he knows now, but the Indian he sure learned a lot, and it's all from asking how.
And I can do the sewing. Leave the sewing to the women.
Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home.
I'm gonna leave this old place. You mean you was leaving your old briar patch? That I is. The place where you was born and raised? That I is.
We are Siamese, if you please. We are Siamese, if you don't please. And just look at that room. Why, they've never swept this room. You'd think their mother would.
They must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon.
And from this slumber you shall wake, when true love's kiss the spell shall break.
At the same time, if you look at the direction that Disney's been going over the last several years, when you look at Star Wars, 3 out of the 4 movies,
right?
You have Rey, Jyn Erso. You had a leading, strong female protagonist. Black Panther, Frozen, even the new Incredibles movie. The role, how they switch up that classic paradigm, if you will, in terms of husband, wife, homemaker, moneymaker.
Elastigirl is our best play.
Better than me?
Stop taking my hand!
It's gonna be dangerous.
Danger? Ha! I laugh in the face of danger.
Stand up. You are a king.
You mistreat this poor boy the same way you mistreat my people. You speak of justice, yet you are cruel to those most in need of your help.
Silence!
Justice!
I wish I could put my fist through this whole lousy, beautiful town.
Put your right foot forward. Can we get a wrestle? Because I got a few moves I know you'll like.
It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. And the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all.
This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
I am Merida, and I'll be shooting for my own hand.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them take ownership of their past and certainly show some grace when it comes to someone else's. The interesting thing about James Gunn's tweets, the ugly tweets, I didn't see any that were directed towards any given individual. Certainly somebody who was not white or women.
Exactly.
I could be wrong. There was some pretty lewd shit.
Yep.
Yeah, one of my biggest problems with those tweets is that they just weren't funny. They weren't funny. The uglier you're gonna go, the funnier you would better be, I think.
What a bunch of a-holes.
What I don't hear in his tweets is a hard defense, because I think he knows there isn't one. What I don't hear in his tweets is him disagreeing with Disney, because he signed the contract, and I don't think he does. I think James Gunn is accepting this. And I think to openly defend James Gunn, he's not defending himself.
Yeah, because he knows it's indefensible.
He knows it's indefensible. So if James Gunn isn't going to defend himself, why should I? Why should you? Why should anybody?
That's true.
They got my dick message!
Hit us up. Give us a call. You disagree? I hope you do. Our email address is sexythorsthundertalk@gmail.com. And our dear friends over at the Nerd Bliss have loaned us their phone number. That's 864-715-9446. Just say that you're calling in for Thunder Talk and you're calling in to say, Dan is full of shit. Please do. That's 864-715-9446. Where else can you disagree with me?
But don't forget to add in that Chris and Tina are great.
Oh, Chris and Tina are the best. We love Chris and Tina. I want to have their babies.
Dance off, bro! Me and you!
Oh Lord, I hope they don't dig up this conversation 10 years from now and
fuck, when I'm running
I get
the
fired
Senate?
from whatever nerd media thing I'm running.
Yeah. No, you're senior VP over there and like majority shareholder of the Nerdist media empire, and I'm trying to be reelected as senator. They find this, we're on our asses. And then we'll be hanging out with James Gunn.
It's Dan's bad advice column. Fuck yeah. Dear Dan, I recently reconnected with my best friend from high school. I moved out of state at the age of 30 and we lost touch. Turns out she lives about 70 miles from me. Neither of us married or had children. Someone told me where she works and I called her. She called back the following weekend and we talked for a couple of hours. It was a good conversation and it ended with her saying she would be in touch in the next couple of months. We had discussed getting together for lunch. It has been almost 4 months and I'm puzzled as to why I have not heard from her. Should I let it go or contact her once more? It bothers me that she doesn't seem to want to get together and hasn't told me why. Any suggestions? By Reconnecting in the West.
Interesting. Well, alright, Reconnecting in the West. First of all, you have her work phone number. How much of a stretch is it to turn that into an address? That's pretty easy, I would guess. Just, go ahead and get on your internet and internet that. Find out where she works. I didn't hear any mention of social media either. You've got to get up on that. You definitely have to get up on the Facebook. I'm positive she's on Facebook.
This isn't 2002. There's so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I would start creeping her on Facebook. Don't necessarily become her friend, but create a brand new profile based on the likes and interests of her friends that you find on Facebook. And go ahead and start friending her friends and posting, selfies where you're pounding margaritas or working a needle exchange program. Whatever the hell it is her friends are into, you need to kind of act like you're into that. Start friending them up. Get the Facebook app for your phone, because that's what you'll be reading when you're parked outside of her work, waiting for her to come downstairs. I'm guessing it's a 2-story building. I don't know. Waiting for her to come out of work. And follow her home. See where she lives. Good friends know where their friends are, and you should definitely follow her home. But don't jump out yet. Don't tell her. Just find out where she lives, because you don't want to spoil the surprise. Over the social media, start kind of low-key hating on everything that she's into to her friends. Not directly, just come at her sideways, and then just have fun with it. I would say maybe go take a shit on the steps of her preferred place of worship, whatever that may be. Her work, you've already written her name and shit at her work, I'm guessing. I'm not trying to hold your hand here and tell you. You gotta show some initiative.
Tell you where to write your name and shit.
You gotta show some initiative here. Back to social media, I really can't stress that enough. Open a Twitter account in her name and just go full Mel Gibson on it. Just full tilt. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Share some of your bigotries and anxieties, through her or her persona. Then after that, when she's broken, isolated, and alone, you, her true friend, will be there. Will be the shoulder that she has to cry on. That's what I would do.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's Dan's bad advice column. Fuck yeah.
Just want to let y'all know about the latest that's coming out. We got Kasky. Check them out. Denver, Colorado, September 8th. We need everybody to be there. Everybody to be there.
Hit us up. Hit us up at Sexy Thor's Thunder Talk at gmail.com. You're on the Instagram. You're just telling me that we got to be on Instagram, right? Because, I was sitting there saying, Instagram, it's like Facebook, but slower. Dumber. But I'm wrong.
Nah, bruh. Instagram is a way to reach out to the whole world. Not just your community, but the whole world.
Yeah. Sexy Thor. Are we up on that?
We're actually very up on that, because I changed my handle to @ThunderTalkThor, all one word. No space is needed. In fact, if you do space, you probably won't get shit, but you don't have to capitalize either. So just Thunder Talk Thor. And I will eventually put the link in the bio. I should have thought of that beforehand, but hey, we're still learning here.
I forgive you. I forgive you, Sexy Thor. You just gotta forgive yourself. What else do we have going on? Tell everybody all that social media stuff.
Well, ever since issue 1's been posted, we've upped the social media game quite a bit. You can find us on Facebook, just Thunder Talk. I've been pushing that since issue 0. We're on Twitter now at Thunder Talk 1, just the number 1.
You know you can call us on the phone. Did you know that, Missy?
I did not know that.
Yeah, we got a phone number. Well, I mean...
We do?
Well, more specifically, the Nerd Bliss podcast has been gracious enough to also let us go ahead and hijack their phone number over there. So if you want to call, just say that you're leaving a message for Thunder Talk. And that phone number is 864-715-9446. If you're not listening to the Nerd Bliss podcast, you're probably an asshole. I mean, you wonder why your bowels are all backed up and you're sleepy all the time. It's because you're not living right. You're not living right and you're not hitting those podcasts that you're supposed to be hitting.
And because your wife is talking to Brad and not feeling guilty about it.
You know, it's a whole universe of bad decisions. Just surrender to us and we'll show you how it's done. And that first step is giving us a call. What is it, Missy?
864-715-9446.
Give it a call.
Yo, we got 2 weeks away from the biggest festival in your fucking lives. EST Fest is hitting Butler, Ohio at Ohio Dreams. And if you ain't got your fucking tickets, you need to go online right now and get them. Because they about to sell out and I'm going to be there with a whole lot of gang shit.
No, for real, guys. She'll come and she will fuck you up. She knows where you live.
Seriously, y'all gotta up your festival game, because it doesn't matter if you've been to Coachella or Glastonbury or you were at Ozfest in 1998. You gotta be here, or you haven't been to a festival.
Is Bonnaroo still a thing?
Bonnaroo, if you're still a thing, don't add us, but call into the show.
Yeah.
In fact, you can add us. I'm looking for a good confrontation. I get bored when I'm scrolling through FaceSpace or InstaChat or Snapgram.
Dude, Thunder Talk starts beef with Bonnaroo next on the Breakfast Club.
Thor, report on the beef. The gates of hell are filled with the screams of the beef's victims. Not the screams of the dead, of course. You know, wounded screams. Tales of sprained deltoids and gout.
Alright, you want to take us home, Missy?
Y'all just need to be there in 2 weeks. That's all I got to fucking say.
From all of us here at Thunder Talk, to all of you out there in Internet Podcast Land, thanks for listening. Thank you.
Come fuck with us on social media.
Bye. Goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Love you, mean it.
Bye. Keep in touch. Have a cool summer.
Thunder Talk is a production of the Weirdos Workshop, starring Sexy Thor and a Lightning Lad. Executive producer, Dan Flink. Social media director, Adam Wedston. Video editor, Anthony Arbizo. Jedi Master, Chris Jones. Lead content contributors, John Rasmussen of the Black Market Toast podcast, and Eric Jones of the Nerd Bliss podcast. Dan's Bad Advice column is meant for entertainment purposes, and Thunder Talk, the Weirdos Workshop, and its subsidiaries are not liable for anyone who actually takes that advice. If you do, your parents probably didn't hug you enough.
Be well, and drink, fight, and make your ancestors proud.